Looking down on the Madras motor race track from the drone, this is our home for the weekend at this final round of the MRF Challenge, and it's a busy weekend of racing because it's the opening rounds too of the National Indian Championships, and the Formula Flgb Formula 1300 cars are on the grid. The circuit, 12 corners long. It's got a couple of straights, not the longest and it's not the widest of circuits, but a huge amount of effort has been put in recent years by the Madras Motorsports Club to make this a great venue for racing this weekend. And on the grid is Louise Beckett.
You do join me on the grid, and I'm at P2 with Mohammed Raza Sheikh. Mohammed, thoughts going into the race?
Just get a clean start. Already been handed a penalty for a stupid mistake that I did. So just like make it out of the race unscathed.
Okay, thanks very much. And I'll make my way to poleman just now. Neil Varun is sitting in pole for this second race for the 1300s. How are you feeling?
Great.
Good. Well, that's positive. How are you feeling about this race? Do you think you're going to have trouble from behind?
A bit, yes, but it's manageable.
Okay, well, the 5-minute board is up now, so David, it's over to you.
Thanks, Louise. Just to make the point about the grid, it is based on the result of race 1, but you reverse the top 12. So it's going to be interesting to see people coming through from further back on the grid. Especially interesting, given that the earlier race for these cars that we had this morning had 2 safety car periods, and then when we got going, there was another accident, and there was the sort of lack of interest in continuing after that. There was a red flag. That's being a little bit flippant about it, because there wouldn't have been time to clear up the wrecked cars and get the race underway. So it was knocked on the head with the result at 8 laps. But 2 safety cars and a red flag brought the fun to the end. Now, I suspect the drivers will have calmed down a little, he says, perhaps in optimism. After that, we shall see how they fare over the next 10 laps. But if, from a normal grid, they were as dramatic as they were earlier, and now you reverse the top 12, who knows what's going to happen. It's going to be spectacular, that is for sure. The 3-minute board is being shown. Everybody now making their way off the grid. And there you can see the rear of it. The last couple of cars just squeezing into position at the very tail end, just around the corner. But the last car on that grid should be, looking at it, Threshal, who was a retirement late race in race 1 earlier on. We had people upside down in free practice 1. We had teammates driving into each other in the race this morning. We had all sorts of dramas, including, and he deserves a mention if only because he was pretty unfortunate about it, Yokeshwaran K jumped the start in race 1, knew he'd done it, banged himself on the crash helmet as he went past the marshals at the start line, as if in sort of, well, I know I did it wrong, so let me off. Anyway, just as they got the drive-through penalty board ready, he locked up at turn 2 and went off the road. So it was a very short-lived race, and maybe the jump start put him actually so far up the order he got himself in jeopardy. But the net result was that he got this drive-through, and it mattered not because he was off the road, out of the race. He's on the grid for race 2. Let's see what befalls him. So we should be good to go very shortly. We'll get the formation lap, and then the cars will re-grid, and we'll be back in business for the 10 laps in prospect for race 2 for the Formula Flgb 1300s. So the green flag is waved, everybody sets off. All of these cars are the same, but unlike the MRF Challenge cars, they're run by different teams. So you're looking at a Swift chassis built by the Super Speeds company. They have 1300cc Maruti or Suzuki Esteem engines. They weigh about 450 kilos, 90 horsepower cars. They've been around a long time. I think this chassis was introduced back in 2003, and many of them are a bit dog-eared, and off the road goes the poleman. That's Neil Varun getting it wrong on his formation lap. Oh good, this all bodes well, doesn't it, for a calm race. So drivers are trying to get the warmth into the rubber and being fairly aggressive about it, almost getting it wrong on your outline, on your formation lap. That is not necessarily, I hope, a sign of things to come, but we shall see. Neil Varun, inevitably, is going to have to try and push very hard early on, because when you get the quicker drivers coming through, Tijil Rao was the race 1 winner, starts 12th on the grid. It's like a handicap race. The quicker guys will work their way forward. And if you've built up an advantage, then you've got that better chance of being able to consolidate that when they catch up onto the back of you. It's all going to be intriguing, and we'll see whether we get through without the interruption from safety cars this time. Tijil Rao, the race 1 winner, and Ashwin Datta was the man that was the runner-up, the man that was quickest across the practice sessions yesterday. Surya Bharatan was 3rd, and Digvashar Jamwal was 4th this morning. Chirag Gopada was 5th, and Kartik Krishna in number 66 was 6th. Dhruva Tyagi was 7th, ahead of Mohit Aryan, who was the champion 4 seasons ago. Mihir Sulman Abalaki next, ahead of Rishon MR and Mohammed Reza Sheikh. You heard from on the grid, Neil Varun likewise, and they on the reversal get the front row of the grid. So cars now working their way down towards the end of this formation lap. And as I say, this should be a lively race. The nice thing about these cars, they're cheap to run, cheap to maintain. They are perhaps an equivalent of a Formula V European type chassis. Budget racer, lots of spare parts available. Nothing terribly clever about the chassis, it just works, and it's a good training ground for people. And the reigning champion, Sohail Shah, took 2nd place in the first Formula 1600 MRF Challenge race a little while ago, so a good training ground. So the grid starts to form, and we should have everybody present and correct. I think 23 cars in all ready for this race. One that we lost from race 1 was Gagandeep Singh. So is he going to get in from the back or from the pit lane for this, if the mechanical problem can be sorted? Let's find out then as the last few cars trickle into position. 45 is Shyam. The dark blue car to his right is that of Yokeshwara. I think there should be number 3 of Thrishal at the back, and then possibly number 34, we'll double check in a moment, of Gagandeep Singh, the red car. Now the pole position driver has gone slightly over his line. Quite often you would get a penalty for that, but the marshals here are being kind to him and trying to push him back. The car doesn't want to go backwards. You have to have a reverse gear as well. If he hasn't got a reverse gear, he's going to find himself in all sorts of hot water, because that would be a technical infringement. Anyway, back it goes, and he's been saved there. So Neil Varun, quite a stressful formation like this, goes off the road on it and then is in the wrong place at the end of it. And a drive-through penalty board is already being prepared. So try and see for whom it is, but the race is about to get underway. 5 red lights are on. The lights go out now. We are racing, and everybody blasts away. There's one car stranded on the grid that everybody's been able to avoid as the cars then now blast their way down towards turn 1. And a good getaway is made by Mohammed Reza Sheikh up on the inside line. Is that going to give him the advantage then as they come up towards turn 2? Yes, it is. With, look, number 7, Mohit Aryan from the 3rd row going up into 2nd place. Now, where is Neil Varun? There he is, number 60. He's made a dreadful start. Aryan is off the road from 2nd. He's going to drop back behind Mohit Sulman Abalaki. Is he, or is he on the inside line to maintain the place? Number 60, Neil Varun from pole position, has got flies on the back of his helmet. He's going backwards that quickly now. And up front, the leader doing his level best to break away. And doing so, Mohammed Reza Sheikh. There's the fight on for 2nd place between Sulman Abalaki and Mohit Aryan, who goes up the inside line at turn 4. Through he goes, he takes 2nd place there. And Mohammed Reza Sheikh is the man with the drive-through penalty. So he was being given that even before the race started, which was for, I assume, a transgression on the green flag lap. There's another one off the road. Is that Aryan? In fact, getting it all wrong in number 7 up at turn 5. But a drive-through then for car number 70, the race-leading car. And that, as I say, that board was prepared as the race got underway. Now, we don't have a message line about this to explain why these penalties are being given, but the drive-through board is there. It might be that Louise can investigate from the pit lane for us. As you see, Mohammed Reza Sheikh come down towards turn 8. He's being chased by Mihir Sulman Abalaki as they wriggle their way towards the end of lap number 1. And now they come down that short straight towards turn 10 in 3rd place. Next in the queue there is the first of the cars run by the team Momentum Motorsports. Number 12, you can see, looking for a place is Tigil Rao, the race 1 winner, but it is now 3 for the lead, and they're all bunching up as well behind as they come out of turn 11, and all of this is going to be rather skewed in a moment, with the leader getting that penalty board. 24, which is Dhruva Tyagi, is the man in 3rd place, up from the 3rd row. He, in turn, is under attack as over the line goes Reza Sheikh, has a look at the board, and if he realises that's for him, his heart will sink, and he will have to come in at the end of this lap. He's under attack, though, from Salman Avalaki. Their 3rd is Tyagi. In 4th place, up from 5th on the fifth on the grid, is Kartik Krishna, number 66. So through they turn, and what a battle pack for the race lead. What have we got? 6, 7, 8 cars all in a line, and the man feeling the pressure is Mohammed Reza Sheikh at the moment. Now, where is the race 1 winner? Tigil Rao has only gained 1 place, only up into 11th, so he's finding it tougher to get through the pack here, as now, look, Mihir Salman Avalaki tries to find a way by. They're side by side for 3rd place as well, and very late breaking up on the inside, and off the road goes Tyagi, keeps his foot in. The leader is off as well. He's back on. There's mayhem as cars scatter left and right. Tyagi has virtually cut out a corner, and he now leads the way, but not for long, because Ashwin Datta goes past him. Number 16, Ashwin Datta, who was 2nd in race 1, and Ashwin Datta, who was 6th at the start of the lap, is the new race leader, as everybody sorts out the mess of turn 5. Ashwin Datta manages to make the best of that. Others confused, others delayed, and others on the grass. And so Datta leads from Kartik Krishna in 2nd place now. 3rd is the new Rallycross champion, Dhruva Tyagi. Then down to 4th is Salman Avalaki. In 5th place was the man that was leading on the road anyway, Mohammed Reza Sheikh, but he's got this Damocletian penalty to serve. And then in 6th place is now number 33 there. You can see in that battle pack, Digvashar Jamwal, who finished in 4th in the earlier race. Number 14, 3rd this morning, Surya Bharatan, trying to go with 18 there, which is the car in the hands of Aman Chowdhury. So it's all happening, and it is 16, Ashwin Datta, that leads the way as the cars make the climb up towards turn 12. Ashwin Datta, the runner-up in the championship last year with a couple of race wins, and is he going to be a winner here in race 2? Well, not if the man alongside him, Kartik Krishna, has anything to say about it. 2 laps in the book as they go down now towards turn 1. They're almost side by side. Krishna slots back into the draft. They're in 3rd place, going through and catching back up again is Dhruva Tyagi. 4th, Mihir Salman Avalaki, and it's what, 4 really for the race lead now. 5th and staying out there is Mohammed Reza Sheikh, so he's not yet served that drive-through. And if he doesn't hurry up and get on with it, he'll find himself in real hot water. The man that started on pole position, by the way, Neil Varun, is down in 19th place, and the leaders are currently on lap number 3. Another one goes rally crossing, and back on. So the leading car, that of Ashwin Datta, he was 11th on the grid, and doing a good job here, having wriggled his way through up into the lead, trying to break away from the opposition as he comes through with Kartik Krishna right up behind him. But then, intriguingly, Dhruva Tyagi coming back at the pair of them. Tyagi still there, still in touch. Lower down the order, battles rage on as number 33 turns through. That is Digvashar Jamwal, and at the start of the lap, Jamwal was in 8th place, and there's more to come from him because he's a quick driver. Heading now on towards turn 7. There's the leading gaggle, and to the outside line goes 24 Tyagi to have a go against Kartik Krishna, who's in the slipstream of the race leader, the late breaking Ashwin Datta. Turning through turn 8 now. Datta under attack, and I suspect this long line is going to grow. This is the beauty of cars without wings, you see. So they can all run together. There, bailing quickly, is Trishal, whose car is off the road on the back part of the circuit round turn 7. And looking a bit hot and bothered, and that's his race done as the leaders now come down once again to turns 10 and 11. And what have we got? 4 for the race lead. Can that line grow? There, 5th is Mohammed Reza Sheikh. Now he's a bit busy trying to defend, and he has failed to defend because he's coming into the pit lane for the drive-through from Digvashar Jamwal. So Digvashar Jamwal gains a place there. The white car into the pit lane for its drive-through. There's another one off the road. Who was that? They come across the timing line. More fun and games break out. Through they go. Number 12, that may have been Tigil Rao getting it all wrong. So Ashwin Datta is the race leader. The race 1 winner not making progress here, but Datta has the advantage then as they come out of turn 2. Ashwin Datta, the race leader, up the inside for 2nd place now, tries to go Dhruva Tyagi, and up the curb on the outside line for 2nd spot, Kartik Krishna. But another car that's had a spin at the last corner, incidentally, and just getting going again, Neil Varun. So the pole position driver is now flat last. It's not been his race, has it? Meantime, Ashwin Datta is looking good, as though this could be a race victory, but Kartik Krishna has got other ideas about this as they run absolutely nose to tail now, coming up through turn 5. Kartik Krishna, frustrated, hand in the air to say, come on, get out of the way. But a defensive drive by Ashwin Datta, keeping him up front. And now Dhruva Tyagi coming back at the second place car. Small gap back to 4th, Mihir Sumanavalaki. And we've had a calm couple of corners. Down towards turn 8 comes the race leader. Can Datta get away here? Yellow flags wave in the background as the leaders come safely through turn 8. Number 14 there you see, Surya Varathan, 3rd in race 1 this morning. And another place is lost there. Look for number 25, that car falling back, MR Rishan. He was on the 2nd row of the grid, but now as the quicker drivers start to work their way through, so those that benefited on the reverse grid drop back. Ashwin Datta cannot shake off Kartik Krishna, can he? They are absolutely nose to tail in the best race of the weekend thus far, and a real contrast this. I know we've had lots of fun and games in it, but we haven't had the necessity for safety cars like we had in the first race. So it's a proper, pure race this, with lots of action, lots of overtaking, and some excellent racing going on for the lead. Ashwin Datta under attack on a grubby circuit there online now because of people going off and bringing the dust back onto it, side by side almost as they went past the pits. But Ashwin Datta may just, yes, he does have the advantage going into turn 1, keeping Kartik Krishna at bay, but coming back at them in 3rd place now is Dhruva Tyagi. In 4th place right there too is Mihir Sumanavalaki in the white car. Side by side for 2nd, Tyagi, who was off the road a couple of laps ago, remember, when they went up to turn 4, looking for a way through. And about half a lap ago, we had the leading 3 pretty much away. Now they're all bunching up again. As soon as you start being defensive, it holds you up, and a challenge is made. Avalaki on the inside line. There's another one getting it all wrong on the outside. Was that Jamwal? There's a spinner as well. So more drama up at turn 4. And the one that we have lost hides itself behind the marshal's post. We'll come back to that in a moment, but Ashwin Datta leads the way. 2nd then, Kartik Krishna. Another spin. That is Mihir Sumanavalaki who goes around and should be able to rejoin, albeit with a lot of time lost. The one that's benefiting out of this as well, number 14, the yellow and white car of Surya Varathan. There it is in the background. Varathan 2 wheels on the dirt, 4 wheels on the dirt as Tyagi gives him a really hard time. To the outside line there, look, it's 33, Digvishar Jamwal, so he survived all the rigours, but he is down in 5th place now because Varathan getting himself up the order. Varathan, who was 3rd in race 1. Perversely, the one that's not really made any progress in this is Tijil Rao. So as the cars now come once again down towards turn 8, the leader, Ashwin Datta, trying to break away, but Kartik Krishna staying with him. But Surya Varathan, there he is, keeping at bay Digvishar Jamwal, running now in 4th place. And because of the dramas on that lap and the spins, suddenly the gaps all open up again. The task now is going to be for 3rd and 4th and 5th to go after the leaders. Kartik Krishna runs wide up the curb and loses momentum and time as a consequence. So now Ashwin Datta gets away by another length or so. Down they head in towards turn 1. Digvishar Jamwal there in 5th place, looking for a way to get through the traffic. There, Dhruva Tyagi in 3rd. Can he come back at that pack ahead of him? I think the answer might be a yes. Up the inside goes Jamwal for 4th. Can't do it, but it was close there. Surya Varathan just able to keep him at bay as they go now through turn 3. On lap 6 then of this race, the 2nd Formula LGB 1300 Championship round, and off the road and back on again in the background there has just gone Chirag Gopada. So the field now becoming a little more strung out, but still lots of action going on up front. Had a spin, that's Tyagi that's gone around. Dhruva Tyagi spins out of 3rd place, so that plays into the hands, look, of Surya Varathan. And there is Tyagi getting himself back onto the road. They're rugged cars, these, aren't they? You can do most things with them. And bouncing his way back towards civilization, Dhruva Tyagi falls down the order. Here are the race leaders, nose to tail once again. The real threat is that yellow car behind. Surya Varathan getting closer all the time now in number 14, the M Sports car. There he is. And Varathan pushing. Ashwin Datta coming under attack from Kartik Krishna. You see in these cars, perhaps more than others, just how bumpy it is at certain sections of the circuit. But Ashwin Datta doing a very good job keeping the place as they wriggle up now through turn 11. Heading over the brow once again. Back into view. There in third place, you can see Surya Bharatan, who wants these two to start squabbling and hold each other up. That would give him the golden chance to get in on the act. 6 laps about to be completed as the leaders go by. Surya Bharatan in third place. I can't give you lap times, I'm afraid, at the moment, because the timing screen has collapsed under the drama it's having to cope with. But to the eye, Bharatan looking the quicker, and certainly he's got a clear road ahead of him for the moment as these two squabble a little bit further ahead. So he's closing. Won't be long before he's able to get into the draft, I wouldn't have thought. Now there's drama at the last corner, and we've got 2 cars off the road, one of which recovering is Digvashar Jamwal, but there's another one abandoned just off the racing line on the edge of the circuit, and it's 25 of MR Rishon. So as they're the race leaders battle, we could yet get a safety car. It is now 3 for the lead as they come into turn 4 with Surya Bharatan closing up all the time. But there's the incident. You see how close to the edge of the road Rishon's car is. So the green flag is waving at the moment because after that part of the circuit, it's clear. The marshals are on the scene pushing it out of the way. So for the moment, I think all is good. And Surya Bharatan is almost there on the back of Kartik Krishna on this lap number 7. Excellent work by the marshals. Is getting the road clear. I tell you, ready for the leaders to suddenly appear on the scene. But which race leader will get there first? At the moment, you've got 3 to choose from, in a sense. Ashwin Datta ahead of 66 there, Kartik Krishna, and 14, Surya Bharatan, right with them. And see the way that these 3 are now a long way clear of anybody else. Despite the fact they're squabbling, they've managed to pull well clear of the best of the rest. So through they come. It's number 16, Ashwin Datta, down towards turn 10. Been a very good drive this, because even though he's perhaps not had the pure pace to get away, he has defended admirably and being able to make sure that he's fending off the opposition. Over the brow they come, down to 12, third place, Surya Bharatan. Can he have a go at the race leaders yet? From the high camera, out of turn 12, they come past the pits, and still Ashwin Datta up from 11th on the grid leads the way. Kartik Krishna from 7th on the grid is second, and Surya Bharatan from 10th on the grid is third. That's the top 3. Datta, Krishna, Bharatan. In 4th place now is 79, which is Kunal Maini. And he's also made excellent progress because Maini was one of the retirements in the earlier race. So he was on row 9 of the grid, started 17th. Chirag Gopada is in 5th, and David Ryan, whose car had quite a bit of damage, and he was a retirement in race 1, he's up into 6th place now. Out wide goes Surya Bharatan, offline, that's going to cost him. Doesn't lose it, but gets on the really dusty, slippery part of the circuit and has to lift and get the car back under control. That cost him time as a result. Race leader on lap number 8 currently is Ashwin Datta. Is he just getting away slightly from Kartik Krishna? Certainly third place man Surya Bharatan, after his little moment at turn 4, has dropped quite a long way back. But now as they accelerate down towards turn 8, Krishna trying to get in the draft and see if he can tow himself back into contention. Off the road there goes Kunal Maini. So having said how well he was going, Maini, I'm afraid, has spun into the guardrail. They're strong cars, so he can rejoin. But he's going to lose ground as a consequence of that. So it's one of those races where if you survive, you're going to finish well. The flapping bodywork on Kartik Krishna's car comes down through turn 10 now. Promised you a lively race, and this has certainly lived up to expectation. Over the brow will come Ashwin Datta. Since he's hit the front, he has been unstoppable. Over the brow he comes, and now down towards the right at turn 12. So Datta leading, Kartik Krishna right with him. In third place is Bharatan. At a change, is it? Not quite. Kartik Krishna having a go, but he can't find a way past. We've got Gopada going through now up into 4th place, and it's a huge wait before anybody comes out of the last corner for 5th as the 2 race leaders run absolutely nose to tail now up through turn 2. 5th at the moment is Amalaki, 6th is Dhruva Tyagi, incidentally. So the leaders go by. Kunal Maini back into the race. There's one more lap to run at the end of this, and can Ashwin Datta hang on in there? Can he survive for one more racing lap at the end of this? Digvashar Janwal arrives out of the last corner rather slowly, incidentally. He's had a moment at the last turn, and now up through the turn 4 left and the turn 5 right comes Ashwin Datta. It's been a mighty effort from him, this. What can he do in the remaining lap and a half to keep at bay the charging Kartik Krishna behind him? Through they turn. There, Surya Varatan trying to come back at the pair of them. Varatan in third. He lost time, remember, a little while ago by that moment when he got delayed at turn 4, ran a little bit wide. Well, now he is trying to fight back as best he can. He's doing the job pretty effectively, but is he going to run out of time? Let's see. The gap's coming down between second and third, but is it going to come down sufficiently to give Varatan a chance to challenge once again? Ashwin Datta, whisper it, is just edging away. Late race, that gap just coming up a little bit, just widening ever so slightly. Kartik Krishna second, and there's a lap to run, and look, Surya Varatan, this could be the perfect moment as far as Datta is concerned. If Varatan arrives on the scene of Kartik Krishna and distracts him, that's going to give Datta an easier last lap than he might have otherwise enjoyed. They come out of turn 12, over the timing line, onto the last lap of the race now. So Ashwin Datta leads, second is Kartik Krishna, third down towards turn 1 is the M Sports car in the hands of Surya Varatan. But there, Ashwin Datta for Momentum leads the way. The Momentum Motorsports squad having taken a 1-2 in the first race, courtesy of Tijil Rao and Ashwin Datta. Still fourth, Chirag Gopada, fifth, Mihir Suman Abalaki after his spin, and sixth, Dhruva Tyagi after his rallycross. So lots been happening in this race. The one that, as I say, has not really made the progress anticipated is the race 1 winner, Tijil Rao. But with a lap to run, half a lap to run effectively now through turn 4, go the top 3. They're starting to bunch up a little bit once again as well. Can Ashwin Datta hang on in there? We're not done yet. Goes just a little bit wide, kicks a wheel onto the dirt. And now the cars turn through that long right of turn 6. And the run towards turn 8 now beckons. This is perhaps the last opportunity for anybody to be really brave and make a move, and Ashwin Datta knows that and covers off the inside line. Surya Varatan coming up to the outside line against Kartik Krishna. Now is Krishna going to throw caution to the winds here and have a go at the last couple of corners? There's a sniff of a gap on the inside, but turn 9's not really an overtaking opportunity. Aaron Mammon looking on from the pit garages. The Vice Chairman and MD of MRF, as there Surya Varatan comes through turn 11. Any moment up towards the final corner. He's not quite close enough to Kartik Krishna unless it's going to be a drag race to the line, but a great race this, and it's going to be won by Ashwin Datta, who, looking in his mirrors all the time, has been under colossal pressure. He's never been able to get away. The checkered flag is at the ready, and Ashwin Datta will win race 2 for the Formula Flgb 1300s. Across the line for second is Kartik Krishna, third Surya Varatan. Fantastic race that, and a great drive, you have to confess, by Ashwin Datta to keep them at bay, not make a mistake, not put a wheel wrong under huge pressure, huge attack as well. And we've got drama out on the circuit as well. More yellow flags are waving because we've got more cars that have come to grief on the last lap, which I think include, yes, the red flag being waved to stop people from going at racing speed. So the cars coming through. We've lost number 40, Mihir Suman Abalaki, who was in 5th place, and he's not come through. So there has been a tangle out on the circuit somewhere, and that means that the red flag has been shown to effectively bring people's speed down as they get, I would imagine, to the incident zone, wherever it may be. We'll try and pick it up on this in-lap. So the drivers will make their way to the Parc Ferme area. We had the checkered flag before the red. I'm just thinking about what that's going to do to the race result. Anyway, we'll let the timekeepers worry about that, who are still having problems with the transponders of certain cars anyway. But a race win in excellent form, you have to say, for Ashwin Datta. Job well done there. And Ashwin Datta from Kartik Krishna and Surya Varatan, the top 3. There's a red flag being shown, and the incident unit on its way to get to the incident, which I'm imagining, therefore, must be the last couple of corners. There it is. Was that 2 cars involved, possibly? Certainly, Mihir Surmanavalaki's car. Now, could Gorpada be involved in that? As I say, I can't give you chapter and verse on who is where, because the timing screen is still only displaying at the end of 1 lap. So it's made life a little complicated. But it looked as though a couple of cars had become entwined, and that was why, to reduce people's speed at that section of the circuit, the red flag was shown after the checkered. Race result then, Ashwin Datta the winner from Kartik Krishna and Surya Bharatan in 3rd. 4th, Chirag Gorpada and David Ryan up into 5th place, having started a long way back on the 9th row of the grid. So a handshake for Ashwin Datta, the race winner. Needs to cover up that badge, I fear. 2nd place, Kartik Krishna says, well done, what a good drive, what a good race. Both of them, I think, have enjoyed that. And there in the background, Surya Bharatan. So he's got 2 3rd places. That's consistency for you. But Ashwin Datta was 2nd in race 1, winner of race 2. Excellent job done by Ashwin Datta. So the driver who was runner-up in the championship last year continues his account with a win this first weekend. Kartik Krishna with his Volkswagen Polo R Cup overalls, a championship that used to run in India, and of course produced the likes of Aditya Patel, who went on to race in international GT racing. But Ashwin Datta, after an excellent drive, Kartik Krishna finishing in 2nd spot. We'll go and have a word, I'm sure, with Louise Beckett in a moment about what an excellent race that was. And race 3 for these cars will be tomorrow, and we'll look forward to more action. That's given us 2 very lively races. This one, although it's had a red flag, that, as I say, came after the checker, so it was a post-race red, if you like. But despite all the fun and games, pretty much drama-free until that last lap. So let's grab a word with the drivers, because Louise is in the pit lane with Surya Bharatan, who took 3rd place.
Always lots of activity in the 1300 races. Surya Bharatan, that was a great battle all the way to the checkered flag.
Yeah, thank you. It was a really tough battle with all the drivers, like a lot of drivers spun in front of me, and I was fighting with a lot of them, so it was a good time fighting and racing.
Smiles all around, well done. David, back to you, and I'll see if I can speak to our 2nd and 1st place winners.
Thanks, Louise. Yes, 2nd will go to Kartik Krishna, and that race win for Ashwin Datta. Great battle between the 2 of them, and they were celebrating with one another as they stepped out of the cars, and as they make their run from the podium, will no doubt still be buzzing about a great battle. It shows you don't have to spend a fortune to go motor racing and have very competitive racing and a proper grassroots category. As I say, it's similar to UK Formula V, partly in the slightly rugged nature of some of the cars, but also in the type of racing that it generates. So Ashwin Datta, race winner, and let's rejoin Louise down in the pit lane.
A man under lots of pressure all the way to the end of that race. Firstly, well done on coming through the fields, and then that was just superb towards the end.
I mean, I started 11th, so I did not expect to win the race. I mean, of course, my goal was to win the race, but I think I was first by the end of 2nd lap, so that was pretty good. I made sure I didn't have any contact with any other competitors, and they started just going out, and I made sure I capitalized on that, and then after that, it was a big battle with Kartik. Until the last lap, so he put so much pressure, but I'm so happy that I didn't crack. And yeah, it was really good.
That's important. Yeah. It was very clean, and we were trying to overtake, and even on side by side we were just racing, and yeah, it was very fun.
Great sportsmanship, and you just put the pressure on him.
Yeah, he's a good driver. Yeah.
Well, you didn't do too bad yourself.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well done, guys.
Yeah, it was a good comeback after 5 years, I'm working on the car, and let's see how it goes this season.
Great, thanks very much. David, back to you.
Well, the drivers say it was a good race. You know it was a good race. So handshakes all round, and the marshals now go about the task of clearing up around the circuit, with quite a few cars having tripped over one another, needing to be retrieved before our last race of the day for the MRF Challenge 2 litres here. Let's have a look at the highlights then. We had 1 or 2 cars getting away rather sluggishly, but Neil Varun from pole position made a slow start too, and he was in the mid-pack even by turn 3. Plenty of drama early on as off the road went Dhruv Tyagi. Now that put him into the lead, but this was the moment that Ashwin Datta really benefited, because he went round the outside of 2 cars. That got him up into 2nd place. Then Tyagi had to drop down a gear and get going again. So Ashwin Datta from something like 5th to 1st in one easy move took over the advantage with Kartik Krishna with him. But then Datta could not shake him off, and the 2 of them ran nose to tail, almost side by side in occasions, right the way to the very end of the race. Great battle between the pair of them. The cars sprinted their way up towards the end of the race as we lost from the battle Kunal Maini, but as the race leader Ashwin Datta consolidated the advantage up to the checkered flag, Kartik Krishna right on his tail. They were caught by Surya Bharathan, but neither of them could do anything about Ashwin Datta, the race winner. More from these cars tomorrow. We'll see you then.